Hi everyone, I'm Pavel from TuneTrain.ai, a platform for fine-tuning small language models with your data, especially also building data sets and augmenting data sets. So I'm already signed in here as Pavel, so let's go to the dashboard directly. Here I'm on my dashboard. I already can see a couple of recent actions I took here in the system. Nevertheless, for now, I'd like to create a completely new data set. That's exactly what I'd like to show you today. Right, so I'm here in a new data set. It's already pre-filled with a couple of records, just to give you a brief idea what's possible with in doing such data sets. What you can see here is a very simple alpaca dataset format, which means you have 3 columns: instructions, inputs, and outputs. Right, so basically you want to train later on with this data set a so-called instruction-based model, right, which is very suitable for toolings, for example, or even embedded systems, something that can reply on your given commands in your customer applications maybe. Right, for today we want to create a very simple data set for learning the German language. Right, so I'm a native German speaker, so it's quite natural idea for me. First of all, let's name our data set somehow. German language. And a description, maybe simple lectures. Simple lectures, right, it's fine. Let's save as a draft for now. And what you see here, this couple of examples, I want to start with a fresh data set, so let's remove them. You could also edit them, but for now I'd like to remove a couple of them. Here it goes. So let's say, I like to say, translate into German. Right, and maybe my input is a cat. In German, I like to say Katze here. Right? Next, translate into German dog, and here maybe you put in Hund here as well. Now our records. Give me 2 example sentences. Here we go. And let's say dog. Right, this one. For this one, we'd like to have a more structured data set. So let's use the JSON format for it. Right. We'd like to state the word in English, which is dog. In German, it's something like Hund, which is dog in German, and the examples. Let's have an array here of a couple of object literals. The idea is the same, to have the same structure. Right. I go for a walk with my dog. And the German version is Ich gehe mit meinem Hund spazieren. Right, let's have another record. Let's have another example. Same structure. I'm feeding my dog. In German, we tend to say Ich füttere meinen Hund. Right, so I'm quite happy with this. Let's save it. Here we go. So let's start with this simple base. As you can see, the first two records have a quite similar structure. I like to select them and augment the selected, right? Augment the selection here means I want to create some variations of these records. And I decided to have, let's say, two variations. It's fine for me, medium variations. And I'd like to focus a little bit on the input, not on the instruction style, but on the input itself. So assuming our users of our model later on want to somehow give different input formats, different input styles, and so on. So let's focus on the input style here a little bit. Right, input style. And let's generate variations. It might take a while. Here we go. As you can see, those newly created records are still not confirmed. Not confirmed means we as a user, as a human being, still have to check them somehow, right? So actually we have the options to check them. We don't have to, but it's a good practice maybe to check them somehow. As you can see, also the instructions have been a little bit altered in some cases, like here, provide with a German translation, right? It doesn't really matter, but for most of the records, the same instruction has been preserved, but the input somehow, right, has been altered. We have to check those. For example, this one is a little bit different. That's what we decided to do on our own. Give a German word for this animal. Common household pet, Katze, right? Translate into German, dog's counterpart, Katze, right? I think this one is not correct. I checked this, so let's mark it, but this one is not really correct. So it says something, not that I have to state the dog's counterpart, but I have to make a translation here. So which is das Gegenstück zum Hund, maybe. Something like that, right? So it's a one-to-one translation. Provide the German translation. Small domestical animal often kept as a pet, which is also not correct in our case. So let's fix this as well. Kleines Haustier. Right, kleines Haustier, maybe something like that. Right, not. Translate into German. Also, I don't like this record at all, so let's remove it. Translate into German. Vorlecktrend. Vierbeiniger Freund. Right, now I'm satisfied with this. Translate into German. Right. Also, maybe not the nicest records. I could fix them, but for now I decide just to remove them, right? To make my life a little bit easier, right? So now I'm quite happy with what we've got here. So let's select those as well, and let's augment the selected, right? Don't focus on the input style, leave it empty. Let's generate. Some variations. This might take a while. Great. We have a lot of variations here, right? And now I think it's nicer what we actually got here, because we have an input and we have a one-to-one translation. So for now, the distillation process is working correctly. I'm quite happy with what we have here right now. Let's go to this one page. I could also search for it, but let's focus a little bit on this one, give me 2 sentences, right? Which is a structured one. Augment selected. Oh, I forgot certain things. Yeah, right. Cannot do it here. Let's go back manually. No, not this one. Not this one. This one. This one. I'm interested in this one here. So again, let's go to augmented here and give me 2 example sentences. This one has to stay because it's already pre-configured. Right, and let's focus on some variations. Let's see, say 3 of this one. Great. So I have a couple of variations. Let's go to the just created version here. So you can see I have variations for the instructions here. List 2 example sentence, provide 2 example sentence, share 2 example sentences. So all variations of the same instructions, but the input has been kept the same. Let's take a look on the output. Right. So here we have, I take my dog for a walk. Ich führe meinen Hund spazieren. Maybe you can't recall, but it's a variation of what we have written on our own. Right. So or here, I am giving food to my dog. Ich gebe meinem Hund Futter. Right. Which is also very nice what we have here. I enjoy walking with my dog every day. My dog loves to play fetch. Mein Hund spielt gerne apportieren. Right? Also this is fine. Let's assume I have a couple of augmented records, or not actually augmented records, but a couple of variations of my records auto-generated with augment selected. I'm quite happy with my data set as it is right now. So I decide to augment the complete data set. Right, so I have some statistics here. I have still some unconfirmed records I forgot, doesn't matter, but I want to augment the complete data set. Usually you want to put huge numbers into here, right? So we have a default 10 here, but usually you put something like 1,000 or even 2,000 here because you want to augment the complete data set as it is, right? But it takes some while for the video, so I decided to just show it with the 10 here. Let's go. It takes some time. Great, right? As you can see, we have some additional 10 records, right? Also with cat here, for example, right? So previously we focused on the dog itself. Now we also have examples for cat, for example, and so on and so on. So it's actually nice augmentation of what we did previously. As you can see, we can play and augment this data set further. Nevertheless, I decided, okay, for some reason I'm done, right? I want to publish it. I could also export the data set, by the way, in 2 formats like JSON-L or Excel in order to work on this data set later on and maybe auto-import it later on to have it here in my view. Nevertheless, I'm fine with this view here. Let's publish the data set. Here it is, right? Here, the new published data set. Next step could be to go to the training. I have no trainings yet, right? Select your just created data set. As you can see, it's an alpaca data set, right? Choose this one, select a model that you want to train for very simple instruction-based datasets, maybe like for a language app, it's sufficient to have a small one like the Gamer 2, right? And just give it a name, German language model, simple instructions for learning the German language. Let's make it correct. Oh, instructions. It's a typo. Okay, let's hit continue. All right, proceed to payment. Pay $32 in our case, and wait a couple of hours, and you will receive a complete, dedicated, fine-tuned model just for your use case. Thank you very much.